Hi, thanks for watching if you are watching, and happy Pride. Over the next few months I'll be releasing various videos, but for now, to celebrate the 1st of June, I will read something I have now written. Since coming out, I've always respected and been thankful to those who have come before me. Those who have fought hard to pave the way so that I can proudly say I'm gay or hold my boyfriend's hand in the street. However, I often feel like I'm not doing enough to show that the fight continues. For all those who are on the fringes of society, discriminated and persecuted against, whether that's your sexuality, gender, race, faith, or anyone who has ever experienced injustice. This is one of the reasons I love the arts and wanted to become an actor. It's the actor's privilege to tell stories, and many of those stories can hold a mirror up to society, or sometimes help light a fuse which sparks change, or someone to speak out. Although, like many do I'm sure, in the back of my mind I often had that crippling voice which tells you, who are you to say this? You sound like a wanker and no one cares. But then I remember back to when I was a teenager, in the closet, lost in wanting to be like everyone else. Never quite knowing where I belonged to who I am. I remember who that person needed, who he clung to. Queer movies, TV shows, theatre, YouTube, music, a spectrum of colour and sound. I remember the voices who helped me find mine. And I want to always be that person, a voice for those who don't yet have theirs. That's why I believe that Pride, Black Lives Matter, and all those who are brave enough to speak out against injustice must continue to do so, unapologetically, unafraid and unwavering, so that people, just like I did, will see and hear you, knowing that they matter too, that they're not alone. That is what Pride means to me. The act of celebration and freedom in the face of judgment from the group of people across the street holding signs which read, "God hates fags" and "homosexuality is a sin." Remembering when my boyfriend and I were physically assaulted, or the countless times I felt uncomfortable and scared after hearing a verbal comment, but never changing who I am because of it. So, even though we can't actively go out and march this year, or flaunt our beautiful selves with a flourish of glitter and a rainbow flag held high whilst dancing in the club to the new Lady Gaga album, or just bravely kissing our partners in public on the one occasion which feels the most accepting, what we can do is make our voices heard. Whether that's a loving and supportive text, a tweet in solidarity, a video, your own private isolation party, your favourite LGBTQ+ film, donating money to worthy charities and not billionaire companies who change their profile picture to the pride flag when it benefits them more than those it represents. Pride is a time to remember. Remember the past. Remember Stonewall. Remember that the privileges we now have were fought for. Speaking up and taking action sends a message, a clear message that we are proud. And now more than ever, you should all be proud. To all my queer friends, be proud. To all my black friends, be proud. All my trans friends, be proud. All my non-conforming friends, be proud. To everyone who has ever felt like their voices has ever been silenced, ignored or not mattered, be proud, because it always matters. Thanks for listening. And next up is a friend of mine called Barry. Barry and I met in London. We did a show together called Our Town. And I've never told him this, but I absolutely cherish your friendship, Barry. I respect you, I adore you. Just getting to know you better after this show was done, and not just, going on with the rest of our lives sometimes like you do after a show, but actually getting to know you, meeting your friends, becoming their friends, going to parties, going to clubs, learning from you, and hearing the brave words that you now say in what I'm about to play. So thank you for that, thank you. And over to you.
I can't remember the order in which these two things happened. They happened shortly after I met my first boyfriend and fell madly in love. Soon after that, I came rushing out of the closet to my family and friends, all in one weekend. But they're not the two things. I don't remember the order. They're ingrained in my memory. Shortly after that, a month, maybe two, we found out that my mum was terminally ill with cancer. Then, around about the same time, I think, the beatings started. I can't quite remember how or why. It was words to begin with, control, manipulation. And then when I didn't do what I was told, I didn't conform. Like all people who are victims of domestic violence, the beatings started. A few months later, in fact it was the beginning of August, I was at work and I was in great pain. I had a pain in my back and a little bit in my stomach. I met him after work. We were meeting some friends to go to the cinema to see Bambi. I'd left my bag at work because I didn't want to take it to the cinema. When I met him, he got upset. He had his bag with him, so why did I leave mine at work? That meant he would have to spend the entire evening walking around with a bag with him. The inevitable control and argument started, and I probably offered to carry his bag for him, but that would mean that then he wasn't carrying the bag. Petty, silly little arguments like that. The argument ended just before our friends arrived, with him punching me in the stomach. The next day, I was rushed into hospital with an almost burst appendix. If it hit me on my right side, it probably would have burst at that moment and I might have died on the street. In hospital, the consultant came to see me. He ushered my parents and my boyfriend away and just said to me, "We understand you're a homosexual." I was 23. Yes, and it was 1988, and it was Brighton, so I felt confident to be able to say, yes, I am. He said, "We don't have time to test you. We're going to have to treat you as if you're HIV positive." I didn't care what they did. I just wanted the pain to end, not the pain of my appendix. When my family and my boyfriend came back in, they said they would take him home with them to look after him and he could stay with them. They went off to give him time to say goodbye to me. He wasn't happy. How dare I send him away when the consultant came? He was an important part of my life and therefore he should have remained. And the consultant should not have been speaking to me in private. I was then wheeled off to the operating theatre. And because they didn't know my HIV status and because it was 1988, as said, they treated me as if I was HIV positive. I wasn't allowed into the recovery room before or after the operation. I went straight into the operating theatre. It's quite fascinating, really, the big light. They all came out dressed like spacemen. I couldn't see a piece of skin anywhere. The operation went off and it was successful, and the staff in Brighton were amazing, as they always are in our wonderful health service. Life progressed and I got used to the beatings. I sometimes tried to get away in the middle of winter when it was snowing. I left home about 3 a.m, just in my underpants, and only got as far as about 300 yards from the house when I stopped to see him standing at the doorstep, commanding my return. That was all 32 years ago now. And life has got better. Life changed. I have been in love 3 times, maybe more, with 3 amazing human beings since that. One for 16 years and 2 others for around about 3. Life gets better. So a little call out to all those people who are suffering or have suffered. Be strong. Don't let them ruin your life. Don't let them control your life. My name is Barry, and I'm a 55-year-old gay man. And I do apologise about my hair. This is filmed during lockdown. Thank you for your time.